Hey guys, this is me, Michael, and today we're playing Sonic the Hedgehog on Sonic's Genesis collection for the PlayStation 3. So this is emulate with the PlayStation 3, but it's a decent version. This was basically the Genesis new mascot. It used to kind of be Alex the Kid that started on the Sega Master System. Now it was Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't feel like Sonic fully got the reputation that he deserved until really Sonic 2. And I'm not going to play through like these games, but I'm going to show you the first few 2D games. I can't guarantee you when I'm going to finish them all, but I will eventually. There's a lot of stuff I want to show you guys as the channel grows, but it's pretty simple. I actually saw this game first being displayed at a Price Club or a Costco now, which I don't know where you're from or if you have it, like wherever you live, but it's basically a store where for mostly geared towards people with their own restaurants and stuff like that, where you buy stuff in bulk. But they had a Sega Genesis playing Sonic beside a Super Nintendo which had Star Fox hooked up to it. And now, going back, I probably would have played Star Fox first, but I guess the Genesis to me was different because I personally didn't hear about it that much. I knew more about Nintendo than I did the Genesis, and I went straight to Sonic because I was intrigued by the new system. But in retrospect, I think I like Star Fox at least better than the first Sonic. I think that's a really good game. But I don't know, when I was younger, the whole concept of 3D stuff didn't really appeal to me as much. I remember kind of bummed out when I saw Mario 64 for the first time. If that tells you anything. I know I was a weird kid growing up. The only 3D game I remember playing when I first played it that I really liked was the Virtual Racing and Virtual Fighters series. Maybe I was just a Sega fan, I don't know. I'd say Doom, but I don't know, that didn't have like the flat shaded polygons and stuff like that, so I don't know. Like, this is one, I believe they brought it back in Sonic 4 if I remember correctly. But, this is one of the few Sonic games that has 3 zones. Like, when you start to get to Sonic 2, there's only like 2 zones. I consider this one harder than the second one. From what I heard, I thought I died there. I've never played the PAL versions before, but I know US games and Japanese games run at 60 Hz and PAL's runs on 50, so I don't know if Sonic, there I tried to do the spin dash, I don't know if Sonic runs slightly slower, but I've heard some people say it, but that's something you'd have to try out yourself because I don't have any of those versions or even played them. Jump on this, go up, go on this thing. There's a lot of spikes in this version of Sonic. There, I died. I haven't played this in a while. This is one of those games where if you play enough, of course they put me at the worst possible spot. This is one of those games where once you played enough, you know where everything is. And I forgot to mention, because I'm just so used to playing Sonic, the whole idea of the rings is get 100 rings, you get an extra life. Your rings are like your life. Always make sure you have rings, because if you get hit with 0 rings, you die, as you saw that would happen to me. I am doing terribly. But I have a bad habit of talking and not playing as good. That actually looks like a little hidden area. The squares are slightly different. I hate not having the dash attack. Does that do anything? They had a compilation on Sonic's Jam, and I believe that they added the spin attack to it, to Sonic 1, which didn't have it. Which I really wish they could have released on one of these compilations. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you have 50 rings, at the end of this level you can go to a bonus stage, which I'm surprised I didn't acquire on any of these parts. If you play Sonic 4, a lot of these bosses are recycled. It's a very, very mean thing to do, to beat up hedgehogs with a ball and chain. But hey, it's all about saving the animals. And 2 flowers, I guess. Usually most of the borders on this game are animated, but they didn't do anything for Sonic. I hate this level, but I love the music. I remember I went to a Christmas party. I don't know. Usually I'm superly socially awkward. I don't know whether it was the alcohol or what. I never got a Chaos Emerald in my life, and well, at least not on this game. I didn't really like this Sonic game as much. And people are watching, which would have made me even more awkward. And, yeah, nobody was playing Sonic, and I haven't played Sonic in a long time. And I played it, and I was doing really good, and I was winning the Chaos Emeralds, which I never did. People are like, man, you must have played this game a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Which I don't know why I thought it was cool at the time to admit that. It must have been the alcohol at the time. But yeah, I never really played Sonic 1 that much at all. I played the crap out of Sonic 2 and 3. A little bit of Sonic and Knuckles, more than this, but I was just like, I don't know why I was bullshitting. I guess I thought playing like an older game was cool. I refrain to say retro games because I know a lot of people that watch these videos like grow up on like way older systems than the NES and Sega Genesis and stuff like that. I did originally first have an Atari, and I got my Commodore 64 a little bit after I had my NES, but those are as far as I go back. Like, I know especially in the PAL regions there's a lot of different computers and stuff I've never heard of, and I've seen the Amiga be played by friends when I was a kid, but definitely not. That was because I had 50 rings I was talking about before, but definitely I never got to play it. Like, the kids that had the Amiga were older than me. They were like 16. I was probably like 8. I guess they were scared I was gonna break it or something. but it wasn't too far after. Yeah, I failed at that. I don't know how the hell, like, I got that Chaos Emerald done. I am terrible at those levels. They brought that stage back on Sonic 4. I actually had a Sonic the Hedgehog card game. And they had one of these levels as it. And I remember it had like the stats of like all the enemies and stuff like that you play. The thing that sucks about this first Sonic versus the other Sonics, which the other Sonics do have it, there's just a lot of instant deaths in here. But I really can't blame the game. Just for the simple fact that most of the games at the time like usually had like these trap instant deaths. But I do say it, I always felt like Sega games are like way harder than like games that were actually made by Nintendo, not published by Nintendo. But I think that has to do with Sega's arcade roots. Like, Nintendo started out, like, in the arcade and stuff like that, but I think once they start to make games exclusively for the console, they're a little bit more laid back. Not to say that they were all a cakewalk, but I'm just saying Nintendo kind of went towards more of a family-friendly approach. Wow, that was a miracle in the making. Most games of this time had a lava and an ice level. It was kind of a requirement. And a water level. I had the Sega Genesis Model 2. And when I got my Sega CD, because the Model 2 didn't have stereo sound. I think the Model 1 had stereo sound, but you had to wear headphones. But when you got the Sega CD, it actually had 2 stereo outputs. And I remember hearing Sonic's rings go to the left and right speaker. And I thought that was so cool. Now I'm gonna die, man. I'm doing terrible. But get all those blocks. Get them all. This building's pooing out lava. Isn't there supposed to be a block or something that's gonna fall? I bet I missed it. Man. Here. I had to activate this event, I guess. I guess this is how games work back in the day. Everything's kind of like a Indiana Jones booby trap where you have to activate something to happen. There was this game called RPG Maker on the PlayStation, and when you're making your RPG, you had to make like these little invisible things that your character would walk across to create another event to happen. And I guess maybe that's how games are really made, at least the older ones back in the day. Oh shit, I thought I was gonna, oh man, game over. That's not cool. But anyway, that was Sonic. I apologize that it wasn't as far or me playing as good as I would have liked to. But if you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe and leave a comment. And as I say in all of my videos, or at least the last few, I have a list of consoles. And if there's a game that you want me to play on any of those consoles, please leave me a message either on Facebook or on YouTube, and I'll play that game that you chose for one of those consoles. Anyway, hope you guys have a good one. Take care. Bye.